Yeah.
She always yells at us.
I'm glad she tells us though, actually.
Right? That tells us when to behave.
That could be bad.
Oh, help if I turn my volume off, right?
I haven't seen anything official yet, but they're saying there was like 250,000 plus people at that IMSA race on Saturday. It was nuts.
I know we're live, but did you see Fozzie that a IRP canceled already for the weekend?
They didn't cancel, they pushed back to Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess they said it's going to be too cold, which, I mean, how's it too cold from up there when they live in the snow all the time? I thought that one was kind of weird.
Happy Monday, everyone. You are tuned in to Sunshine State Race and Recap Show, brought to you from now on by Dayton Andrews Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Truck. St. Pete, you can reach them at 727-321-0500. Make sure to follow them on Facebook and thank them for supporting Sunshine State Racing.
And Taylor and the crew, they have a dealership in St. Pete and Clearwater. Make sure you go check them out for all your Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep needs, and I'm sure they got a little bit of everything probably on the used section.
Yeah, they do. Hi, Terry Price. Hi, Joe. Happy Monday, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Give it just a minute or two to let everyone jump on. We got a full show tonight. Will Cuddy's joining us. Davey Hamilton's joining us. Jared Irvin and Mark Lonis. Hi, Mark Steve.
Like intermission, like we do the figure eights, and then we'll line them up. It's a 35 lap feature. 35 lap feature. It's going to pay.
Hey, Ozzy, while we're waiting on people to jump in, why don't you tell us what you did this weekend? It's a little something different than normal.
Yeah, I went to my annual trip down to Sebring for the 12-hour. They call it Super Sebring because they had the World Endurance Championship there from Europe. Same kind of cars, just, one's in Europe, one's here. I was just telling Jennifer, unconfirmed reports of over 250,000 people there on Saturday. And I believe it because it was jam-packed. We were elbow to elbow and saw some amazing racing all week, Wednesday through Saturday.
That's insane.
It is insane, but they go for a reason. It's so much more than just the racing. I met some people on our first trip down there. I think it's 7 years ago now, but they've become like family. We absolutely look forward to spending the week together. And my son hangs out with them when I go do other things. There's some amazing people, but it's like that all the way around there. It's kind of like going on Saturday night, but to the power of 100.
And you posted tell a little bit about you posted a picture of the turn 9 motorsports or turn 9 news or whatever. They do a really good job at covering Sebring. Tell a little bit more about those guys.
Yeah, I don't know them very well. I actually just went and introduced myself to them this weekend for the first time. Been following them for a while. They started those fun videos last year during COVID, or 2 years ago during COVID, when there was nothing else to do, and he throws on this goofy wig and does like 30-second minute clips, like talks like a 50s news anchor, and they're very funny. Jordan Taylor is a Florida-born racer. He races for the factory Corvette team. Came back this year to their camp for his tetherball rematch and lost again. They're just a really fun group of people. Go give them a check out if you see them. Turn 9 Sebring. They're on Facebook.
That's awesome. Are you caught up on your rest yet?
Nope, not even close.
It's a little bit light out, so I'll be off and on a video tonight while it's light out. But glad to be with everybody. I'll try to do video as much as we can, but running the board from the computer and then talking on the phone, so it might be a little difficult. But we got some people jumping on, Jen.
Oh yeah, tons of fans on already. Thank you guys for tuning in. As you know, Sebring is like we went to a party and a race broke out. Yeah, that's exactly it.
It is a giant party. It really is. And you have $1 million motor coach parked next to somebody in a tent and everybody's just having a blast.
That's awesome. Robert, won't you take a minute? Is he back on? Take a minute and tell us about your weekend.
Robert,
Well, I was down at 417 Southern Speedway. Great legend car race, twin 25 for the A mods, sprint cars. I met two of the winners from down there is going to be our guest tonight. And we got Willie Cuddy on. So why don't we go on and start? Because we got a jam-packed show for tonight.
Sounds good. Hi, Von Sean. How are you? Thank you guys for tuning in. Like he said, our first guest tonight is Willie Cuddy. Just to kind of introduce you a little bit, last year, beginning of the year, we were talking for different reasons because you had a pretty crazy start, ended up on your roof. And then this year you come out and you win at 417. So tell us about your weekend. Uh-oh.
you're on mute, Willie.
My bad.
There you are.
Yeah, we had a crazy weekend. We started last weekend at Citrus. We probably had the best car. And lap one, I made a bonehead move and just took it 3 wide, and I sure lost it on the first lap. And coming to 417 before Friday night, we didn't really notice it. But Saturday, we found out our rack was bad. And so we had to replace that. And then that threw our whole adjustment off of the car. And yeah, it was real hard we kind of blew it in qualifying, but it was real hard to kind of come back from Friday night being so much faster. But blew qualifying and ended up about a 10th slower than what we were Friday night.
So just for the ones that don't know, Little Gator Motorsports put on the legend race down at 417 on Saturday. Huge car count for you guys down there. Great to see all the legend cars down there supporting 417. And I think you guys had, 19 cars qualify?
Yes, ma'am.
And so
Qualifying was awesome. I mean, for those guys to get to qualify.
yeah, was that your first time qualifying, Willie?
That was my second, but I was probably my best qualifying so far.
So where did you qualify at?
I qualified 5th. We couldn't quite make the right adjustment during practice, and we threw something at it at qualifying and completely blew it. And after the invert, we started 3rd, and the change we made from qualifying to the feature was a little much, but still was able to have the car on just rails for the feature.
He went, let me tell you, he went pretty much right at the start finish line. He took it 3 wide in the turn 1. He wanted that lead bad, and he got it before they come back around. And man, he had it set up. What a move to go for the lead in that competitive of a group.
That's awesome. So it seems like 417, you've learned that place pretty quickly and you're learning how to get around it really well.
Yeah, a big thanks to my dad. My dad learned from my grandpa, and then I learned from my dad, and then my dad won't stop until we are 100% the best. Me and my dad are just a small mom and pop team, and I do most of the work, and he won't stop till we get it. He makes sure I will drive in harder and then drive out of that turn harder. That's our biggest thing we're working on right now, is driving out of that turn harder. And we still got a lot to go. And as of right now, we've pretty much got to the top, and we won't stop until we've won. Our goal this year is to win most of the races, if not all of them. And I and myself am confident that we can do it.
That's awesome.
And let's tell everybody a little bit. You say mom and pop organization, but the Cuddy family's well known and raced a long time. Your dad and your grandpa, they've had a lot of success. If I remember at New Smyrna and the street stocks, and tell a little bit about the Cuddy tradition and racing, because it's not just starting with you.
Yeah, we've always been to ourselves in racing, and my dad's biggest, I don't know how you say it, but motto, should I say, is races are won in the shop. And pretty much every car that has been through this shop has either just totally demolished its competition every race it's been in, but it also has like it's just unbeatable. So sooner or later, that's what we are going to get to.
And I'll let them ask you a few more questions about the legend, but I was trying to stop Rob in your interview the other night about, he was talking about it being one of your big wins, but you've had a couple big wins on dirt in that Crown Vic. Didn't you win like $5,000 last year in one of the first races you did on dirt in the Crown Vics?
Yeah, the Crown Vic. Yeah, again, our first race on there, we won, and actually, pretty much all of them. I take the back. Actually, all of them. And then we were going to go to a track down south and just couldn't. But also, if anybody is wondering, we're also building a dirt thunderstock right now. It should be ready here in a couple of months, and we're going to see what we can do in that thing. And we're going to run the Crown Vic and dirt thunderstock when we don't have a race in the Legends.
That's awesome. Tyler said, good job on your win. And Stephen Hollinger said, I want a Willie Cuddy shirt.
Yeah, we're here in the next, again, couple months. We're planning on making shirts and hats and stuff like that. We're going to get some stickers and logos made out for everybody, and just be more of a fan person, should I say.
Right? Get that merch out. We'll help you promote it. So talking about the legend cars. Oh, Matt said only a matter of time. Stoked to see it Saturday. Dude's the driver.
While we're talking about the fans and being a more fan person, what was it like Saturday night? 417 did something different. It had the legend cars be the feature and come out for the autograph session. Probably one of the first times you got to do that. What was it like? The kids I know love getting in your cars and sitting and watching, but I think the adults enjoyed talking to you guys, the youngsters, just as much as the kids coming down.
Oh yeah, it was certainly a hard, or a lot different experience for me. It was kind of odd, but yeah, a lot of the grown up people talked about like the motor and stuff like that, and then I signed a lot of autographs. I was surprised. I didn't know I had that many fans, but yeah, it was certainly. I would like to do it again.
That's awesome. And I know the fans love getting to meet you guys and putting a name with the face in a car. Hi, George. Hi, Rick Chapman, watching and recovering from surgery. Wish you well. So what's your schedule look like for the rest of the season? Are you running all the Little Gator? Are you running some dirt this year?
So during the off season, my dad said we are committing our 100% full effort to Legends, and so he said as long as I can maintain straight A's, that we can race as much as humanly possible this year. So I will do that. But yes, we will be trying to run every single asphalt Legends race, as well as some dirt races for Little Gator series. And then we're going to continue to run the Crown Vic. The trainee is being rebuilt right now, and soon to be the Dirt Thunderstock on off races.
All them off weekends that we rarely have, right?
Yeah.
I love the grade thing. And so let's talk about that for a minute. What grade are you in?
I'm in 11th grade.
Okay, so grades are a huge deal, and we love hearing that the parents are making you guys keep up with the schoolwork so you can go racing. It gives you more of a more of a goal to reach to kind of keep those grades up so you can go racing every weekend.
I love the haircut. You said you're in 11th grade. When's the last time you got a haircut? Like 6th?
Yeah, roundabout. Yeah, when my dad was in around my age, a little bit younger, he had a long hair. I'm like in 6th grade. I'm like, hey, Dad, can I get a haircut like you? And I pointed to a picture with him with long hair. And he said, all right, we'll see how it looks on you. And then ever since then, I just never cut my hair. Here and there, I'd get it trimmed and layered. But for the most part, it's pretty much just growing. Just let it flow.
That's awesome. Yeah, yours and Fozzie's may be longer than mine. It's too hot in Florida. Well, buddy, let's take a minute and talk about all the people that help you and the sponsors you have on your cars.
My mom and dad, for sure, mainly them. Cuddy Painting, also. That's 100% the main one. Ted's Auto Repair. My uncle and brother when they can. Most Saturdays, but when they can't, it's just me, my mom, and my dad. And Ted's Auto Repair, and that's it.
Awesome. So
Just
how
a question about your car. That's not the same car you flipped last year, right? You guys got a new one after that?
Yes, sir. We fixed that one up, got a new clip on it, and then we sold that as a bare chassis, and we used that money to buy our chassis now, and seems to be doing good for us.
Yeah, that car seems to definitely be hooked up everywhere you go. Y'all got anything?
No, I don't.
Got anything, Fozzie?
Nope.
Sounds good. Well, Willie, thank you so much for taking time to come on with us. We are so excited to watch you this year. You've done an amazing job so far. I can see you improve every time you go to the track, and so cool for you to get your win down at 417.
Yeah, thank you.
Very welcome.
And I just want to give another shout out.
Uh-huh.
Sorry about that. I want to give another shout out to Noah Corman. Since we started, he helped us out on our line and everything. And thanks to my mom and dad.
He's a good one to learn from too.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, it was great talking to you. We'll get you on back again after another win this year, and good luck the rest of your season.
Thank you.
See ya. That was Willie Cuddy after his win down at 417 Southern Speedway. I was really impressed with the amount of cars they had down there. I was really sad I missed it.
They always get good cars for that series.
Yeah. We're gonna do some comments in and then tell everybody we got a little bit before Davey joins a little bit about your weekend. It seems like you got more fingers than anything this weekend.
I got more what?
More fingers. You were told you were number one a lot.
Margie Duncan said good luck this year. There's not a lot of comments rolling in. Everyone's just listening in. Yeah, so my weekend, I went to Irvindale. Friday night, we went over for practice, and my camera came in Thursday and decided to take it out there Friday for practice and try to figure out what the heck I was doing. Took a few shots on Friday, few meaning 300, and deleted a ton of them. Got to watch some practice, did a few live videos. Cody decided to race this weekend. His car was not good on Friday. But we had an awesome car count on Friday for practice, even better car count on Saturday. Quite a hot day on Saturday. I felt bad for our drivers having to be out there racing in it and practicing in it, but really great show Saturday night at Arbonneau. Can't say enough about our drivers. They went 50 green flag laps for sportsmen, and I think we had 14 or 15 sportsmen, and then went 48 green flag laps for trucks. Great show. Only one caution in trucks on lap 48. I felt so bad for Carter Brown. I was like, oh gosh, here comes a restart. And he's led, the majority of the time. But those guys put on a show in the sportsman. We had Crown Vics there. That was a lot of fun. We just had a really good time. It was really good racing. Got out of there pretty early. Was really excited to see the long green flag runs, although some of them weren't. And yeah, we got lots of pictures of the middle finger this weekend. So that was kind of fun.
And I think this was a free weekend for everybody. What the summer is going to be like, and a warning sign to everybody to stay hydrated, because it was pretty warm this Saturday. I can only imagine what it's going to be come May, June, and July when we do some racing. But it was a great weekend all around. Guys, we got about 5 or 10 minutes before our next guest joins. If you got any questions, pop them up. Jen will read through the comments or questions, and it's our few minutes to chat with you guys.
Mike Howell said, Jen, why'd you let Joe Winchell have such a bad night? Him and Cody both, man. We found Cody's problem after the race. Thank goodness. It stayed in one piece for the race. But yeah, Joe had a rough night as well. But honestly, any night that you can load up the car in one piece, get to hang out with your race family, it's not really a bad night. They finished and cars are in one piece. So we'll take that as a win for the night. Fozzie, where are you going this weekend?
I'm still waiting on a call back from somebody that may want me to go shoot somewhere, but haven't heard yet. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yet to be determined.
Yeah. So
William
why'd you throw away a bunch of pictures? Were they no good?
Yeah, they were horrible.
We got
It
a
happens.
jam show, and Mark Moines has already joined us. So why don't we go in and get with Mark, and then while we're waiting on Davey to join, and then we'll get a little bit ahead so we don't run over.
Okay.
How you doing today, Mark? If we didn't catch you off guard.
While he's joining, I'm gonna run through a couple more of the comments. William Powell said Tyler Schofield done a fine job. Yes, he did. I was really excited. Him and Keith Lilly both have not had the greatest luck in the past couple races. So it was really great to see them get a really good finish. 1 and 2 finish for that team. Keith broke in practice on Friday night. So he ended up jumping into Jeff's car and did an amazing job. So it was really good to see them 1-2. Kevin Macy ended up 3rd. And the trucks, of course, was won by Carter Brown. Kristen Clements ended up 3rd in that one. I'm trying to remember. I think Brennan was 2nd. Kristen was 3rd. I'll have to look at results. My brain's not working on a Monday.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mike,
hey, Mark, are you with us, Mark?
Yes, I am.
So how are you doing? You won the Outlaw Fours this weekend in East Bay. Love to get our dirt racers on here and always put on a good show over at East Bay Raceway Park. But let's talk there for a little bit about your racing group. You got a really tight knit family that you guys do that Outlaw Fours racing with. And my brother from another mother, Vernon Hart, gets to race with you guys when his shoulder gets better in Candace's car. But you had that Outlaw Four set up on Saturday night. How was your race?
My race was great. We won our feature, run 2nd in our heat race. We had a pretty good night.
So I want to talk to you a little bit, people that don't know Mark, the real Mark. You're a state licensed alligator trapper during the day. Tell everybody a little bit about that. That sounds like that'd be a crazy job.
It's different. We catch nuisance alligators for the state of Florida. And yeah, that's one of the day jobs. The other one is working for the Pasco County School Board. Yeah, we definitely stay busy.
I think Jennifer said she wants to
that
go
you guys
stand
get-
next to you with her camera while you're catching alligators.
alligators don't bother me. Snakes bother me. We've caught alligators at Mama's, so those don't bother me.
I'm with you on the snakes.
Yeah, leave the
And you
snake
guys-
at home.
you guys get called out all hours of probably the night when there's a nuisance gator in the area, and just when you think something's calmed down, that's when you guys get the call, right?
24/7, 7 days a week. It's all 24 hours a day. It's never ends.
So how the Outlaw 4 is a 4-cylinder, kind of, I guess, the dirt version of a modified Mini. But how do those things turn and get around East Bay? It looks like you guys have a lot of fun in them.
We do have a lot of fun. I started originally racing on pavement at Sunshine Speedway, and we ran around with the Mini Stock Challenge back in the early 2000s. Yeah, we had a ball with it, and took a little bit of time off, and then went to go racing again, and we started racing on dirt, and it's a lot of fun.
That Mini Stock Challenge series was an awesome series back in the day.
Yes, it was. Todd Hutto had a good thing going right there.
Yeah, he did. And then he moved over to the dirt side as well. He was with East Bay for a long time, for as long as I can remember. So you guys kind of followed him on the dirt?
I just got a hair and said, we're gonna go dirt racing. So we bought a couple of cars and we went dirt racing, and I've been there ever since.
And you guys do this, like I said, a small family, you and Vernon and the other guys you race with, do a lot of this work on these cars together. How's the transition been over to asphalt and dirt? It looks like, I know Vernon would love to do asphalt again, but he loves that dirt racing. He's not going to lie to me and tell me he doesn't. If we got him a big ride in the asphalt, I know he'd come back, but he loves that. How much more fun's the dirt seem to you guys?
It's different. It's been a long learning curve for me because I've only raced on pavement. So it took me a little while to get used to stuff, and I've got some good friends that help me. Ronnie Bennett, he's been a huge asset because he knows the dirt stuff, and he's been around dirt racing for all his life. So it was just, I struggled for a little while, and then it clicked, and then now we're running decent. So yeah.
And second was Billy Dukes, and I know you guys are really competitive out on the track, and they have had battles back and forth, but it's got to be great when you go out and do it with a bunch of friends like that, and when you can come out on top. You don't have a lot of dirt wins, but how'd that one feel Saturday night? And you excited for what the rest of the season holds?
Oh yeah. We really made a lot of gains last year towards the end of the season, and we won one last year back in October, and then a lot of second place finishes to Billy. And during the off season, we made a few more changes, and we started the season out just right. And Billy Dukes is like a brother to me, like Vernon. Vernon's more like a brother to me than a cousin. And yeah, we're definitely a close group of people.
And I've heard a lot about we won't talk about how often we don't see on Facebook because you end up in Facebook jail, but that's a different story. But we hear a lot about Des Moines racing engines, and you build these engines yourself, right?
I've been building the mini stock motors for about 20 years, mostly for, close group of people that I have been associated with. My friend Dennis Valdez that races over at Showtime now. He and I have been friends for 30 years or so, and been building his stuff for as long as I can remember. And yeah, there's a bunch to them, and stuff has come a long way where stuff got just where it needed to be, and our engine program came around really good.
Dan, are there any comments or anything coming in before we get a chance to let him think of sponsors, or do you or Fozzie have anything else?
No comments yet.
I'm good. Thank you.
Go ahead, Fozzie.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. I know you've seen him out there at East Bay a couple of times, so I didn't know if you had anything to jump in. But Mark, who do you want to thank that helps make all this possible? Because racing wouldn't be what it is without our sponsors and our friends and family that make this happen.
Oh yeah. God first. My wife for putting up with the long hours that we keep out there in the shop. Ronnie Bennett, Billy Dukes, Vernon Hart. That's our group. That's our core group right there. That keeps this whole thing going.
And how do people get in contact with you if they want motor work or anything like that?
They can call me. My Facebook page, even though I'm always in jail, there's a phone number there that they can call, or they can message me through Facebook, Instagram, all of them.
Good deal.
Well, thanks for taking a few minutes to come on and talk with us tonight. And we'll be following you this season. And hopefully, I know you guys are a little bit north, and especially now that Vernon's moved, but it sounds like we might get some races at Ocala now with Candace helping up there. And she's always said she won't drive where she is doing anything at. So once his shoulder's healed up, I know we'll get to see Vernon at his favorite track, Ocala, again. And thank you for coming on, and keep up the wins, man.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Good luck.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Mike Howell commented and said, Arvindale this Saturday, it's 150s. Am I going? I'm not sure yet. I'll get back with you on that. Carl Thompson, when are y'all getting Levi Hobbs on? I don't want to get banned on Facebook.
He needs to be a one-on-one Thursday show.
We need a YouTube version.
We can do live YouTube, so we'll have to do him on a Thursday.
Yeah. Dana Barlow, No Yellow Sportsman, absolutely amazing. Absolutely. I'm gonna run through. Oh, we have our next guest on.
We'll run through a couple of comments, and when you're done with those, we'll let Fozzie introduce our next guest. He probably knows him just as much or well as any of us here, and we'll talk about that weekend on sprint cars.
I caught up on all the comments, so Fozzie, it's on you.
Is Davey ready to go?
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you guys?
We're doing good, thank you.
Good.
So you went back to 417 this weekend and got a win. Does that feel like redemption at all after a mechanical DNF last time? Because you had a pretty darn quick car last time.
I'd say it feels like a comeback just for the past few races, man. I mean, you know as well as anybody, the past few races has been right there, and then it's either just bad luck or a failure or just driver error. So but finally get a win for our first win of the year, it's good. And hopefully we can continue this trend and keep winning, but yeah, it was a good night, man.
Yeah, you know that the standards are pretty high when you have a couple of second place finishes, one of them in a really big non-wing race and a win, and you feel like you're having a rough start to the year.
Yeah, no, it definitely felt like a rough start, and it definitely felt like I was just praying that my year wasn't gonna be like this all year. I've had years where it starts off on a bad, and then it just keeps going bad. So fortunately, we kind of got the bad luck off our shoulders, hopefully, and I guess it didn't really. We were supposed to race this weekend, and it gets canceled due to cold weather. But we were excited to go up to Indiana for sure. But as far as all the other races that we have coming up, yeah, I'm excited, and hopefully we can pull off the win there. There's
no one harder on a racer than a racer.
I've been pretty hard on myself lately. Yeah, that's for sure. I know the task in hand of the equipment that I have and what people are, I guess, looking at from their point of view, and I understand what I need to be doing. So yeah, unfortunately, I have been pretty hard on myself, but for a guy that hasn't been, I guess, competing for a while, and to come out and really almost our worst finish so far is really second on track, anyways, and I know we're competitive, and I know I'm right there. So yeah, I'm not going to be so hard on myself moving forward, but I do know the pressure I have, but I'm just fortunate to be a part of this program for sure.
I want to ask you a question because I listen to a lot of NASCAR radio on Sirius driving around with work all the time in the car. And they always talk about how as a racer, you remember probably the races you shouldn't remember, how you lost one, or do you seem that to be true? Like that race that you had the mechanical failure when you thought you probably win early in the year at Punta Gorda, until you get a win like this one, do those come back in the back of your mind every race when you're out there and they seem to come up, you remember the bad ones more than the good ones?
Yes and no. I mean, the mechanical failure stuff you can't control, so I don't really look back on those races because I know that was just something that I had no control, or none of us did, so we couldn't really do anything to prevent that. The races that are like driver error, man, I really beat myself up. And, you know, you look back and you're just like, what were you thinking? Why'd you do that? Those races really get on me. But you just kind of got to learn from it and take that into the next race. And, you know, that's all you can really do.
Well, from a fan perspective, we look at you and you come down here and you're doing a great job learning these tracks and getting a feel for them and racing with everyone. And yeah, so we're all sitting here blown away by your talent and you're giving yourself a hard time. So keep that in the back of your mind, that the rest of us are like, wow, this young man's pretty darn talented.
I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, I mean, I don't put too hard of a time on myself, but I do appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's been a challenge for sure getting used to the new tracks. For me anyways, I kind of like to practice more than others, I'd say. And my crew chief Todd, he doesn't like to practice at all. So we had to kind of have to come to an agreement together to realize, hey, maybe just one extra session could help us out on me personally. But man, he's so good at setting up the cars, and Luigi, he's so good at getting the cars ready to go, that no matter what, I know I'm competitive to win, or in a spot to win at least. And yeah, I'm just looking forward. You know, our next race is at Auburndale Speedway, and I've only watched videos there. I've never raced there personally, but I always love going to new tracks because it's kind of a learning curve, and I love to learn. So I always like going to new tracks, new places, and I'm kind of used to traveling all over the place to go to a new event or a new type of car or anything. So I like to adapt to new things. So I'm excited for sure.
I walked up on you while you were when I was waiting to do your interview Saturday night, and you were talking to Joe Gentry, owner of 417, and you talked about how much you love the track, and you guys were talking about maybe if they prep a little bit, how that could be 2 or even 3 wide racing. What do you like about 417, and what do you see the potential if they were able to do a couple of things down there?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. You know, I look at 417 like a track that my family used to own, and it's really racy to this day, which is Meridian Speedway in Idaho. The tracks are almost identical. The only difference is that this track, it gets dirty very quickly, obviously with all the dirt in the infield and the wind. It really makes that track hard to run a couple grooves or, you know, run the second lane. So, you know, I've been around the sprint car scene for a while now to understand, you know, what could help racing at certain tracks. And I do believe that 417 has potential to be one of the most raciest tracks in the country. They put down some compound in the past that you could still see on the track, but you know, I was just kind of mentioning to Joe that you do that again, man, because for sprint cars, ever since I've been there, even last year, that second group is really hard for a sprint car to go up there. And I don't think it's just sprint cars. I think it's really most classes that I've physically watched at that track lately. You know, you kind of have to bonsai it in on the inside of a guy going into a corner, which, you know, it's like that in a lot of places, but that track specifically does have the potential to run an outside groove. I've seen so many videos years ago that people have ran the outside no problem with that grippy compound that they put down. So yeah, I was just kind of talking to Joe about what we got to do to try to make that happen again. You know, that's one of the options. The other option is, you know, unfortunately the car count situation hasn't been the best lately, and I hope that gets better. I would love to see more cars out there. But you know, one thing that we could all do as a program together is you get all the guys, you go run a session, literally, you know, just the outside groove, like put some cones up or something and just have everybody run the outside groove to put some rubber down. That may not fix it completely, but that will definitely help, having some rubber up there to where you could see some guys run the outside line for a full lap. It's really difficult as is, but hopefully we'll see what happens in the future, but hopefully he puts that into consideration.
I know Joe and Janet are always thinking and trying to make it better for the racers. So if they're listening and they do it and put down more compound or make it where it's a racier track 2 or 3 wide, do you think that we could persuade maybe some more people, even some out of state, to come if we were to put on a huge sprint car race there? Is that a type of track you could see it happening at?
Oh yeah, there's some things that are actually in the works behind the scenes that I know about for a big potential wing sprint car race to be held there. You get more cars, the racing is going to be better anyways. But they do a good job of promoting that track. I'm very impressed. I mean, the amount of fans that show up there is really impressive, I got to say. But I know there could be more fans coming with better racing. The only thing that they don't want to do, and I've seen tracks do this, is they think the whole track needs compound, which if you put the compound from the first groove up to the third groove, it's not going to fix the racing because the bottom groove is just as fast as any other of them. So if I just hope that if they were to do anything to the track whatsoever, they kind of have a meeting, or they at least ask some of the drivers of what they could do to help the racing, and take that into somewhat consideration, because you have a lot of guys that know what they're talking about that can help make the racing a lot better for sure.
So this year you have a crazy schedule. You're racing everything from non-wing down here, wing down here, non-wing stuff up north in that new series, Silver Crown, midgets. Your best non-political answer, which one are you looking forward to the most to get in and race?
I love midgets, man. Midgets are so fun.
Yeah, I know
midgets
they're
are so
all fun, but there's got to be one that
Yeah.
you really, really want to get into.
I honestly say a midget at IRP, man. And unfortunately that race got canceled. But that track, I've never been able to run a non-wing sprint car or a midget at that track. And I've seen, when I was a kid, I grew up there, right? And watching midget racing there, it was like slide job. It was just awesome. Slide jobs for pavement. So I'm excited for that. But there's a lot of other things that have literally just come to my attention in the past 24 hours of new opportunities that I have potentially, which is really great. I'm glad that my results and, getting my name back into the racing scene is really starting to go in a positive direction, because there's a lot of great things that can come out of this year.
I was
for sure.
caught off guard last year at IRP that the midgets were faster than the Silver Crown cars. That one kind of blew me away.
They're fast, man. They're fast
They
little
are
things,
wicked fast there.
Yeah, they're honestly so much fun to drive though. And I've only ran a midget at a short track, like the size of maybe Citrus, I'd say, on the West Coast. And that wasn't with very many cars either, but to run with, Santos and Swanson and, being a driver, a part of that group, is something that's really special. And, when you're driving with those guys, that you're with the top in the country. So it's your time to shine for sure.
Absolutely. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah. Well, I say thank you all the time to Morgan Exteriors. Kirk, he does a lot for me, and he's really behind me getting to where I want to be in my career. And then Classic Corvettes with Lenny Puglio. He's kind of the one that helped make this happen. Rental X, United Speed World, Thin Energy, Bath Planet of Tampa. And, honestly, I just want to say a huge thanks to all the guys that help, put the cars together and get us going, because we have been in the shop every single day. Luigi has been in the shop. I don't know when that guy sleeps, because I go over there and everybody's just working on something every single day, all day long, because we do have a busy schedule, but rather be busy than not doing any racing. So that's good.
Right. So let's take a minute and talk about how, one, fans can follow you on your social media, and two, how they can get your merch.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody that's interested in following me, we have a lot of different channels, but for me specifically, it's literally just Davey Hamilton Jr. everything, from the website's DaveyHamiltonJr.com to Twitter to Instagram, the Facebook page. And then we also do a lot of posting on Morgan Motorsports, which that's the sprint car team. They post a lot of updates and stuff with the sprint car program. And then, yeah, we have a merchandise store. So if you just want to go to www.shopdhjr.com, and yeah, we have all sorts of stuff on there.
That's awesome. Well,
Yep.
we really look forward to you racing in Florida. But we'll also be following along for all your adventures this year and kind of wishing we were tagging along with you. We're so jealous.
Well, you guys will be there in my hearts. You know, I guess this is my home base now is Florida. So I don't know if I'm considered a Floridian, but you know, it is what it is. And, you know, I'll make sure to keep everybody up to date on the positive stuff that I'm doing outside of the state as well.
All of our outside of Florida people that move here and start racing here, we call them transplants. So now you're one of our transplants. We'll keep you, Davey.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, congratulations on your win. It's been so much fun to watch you kind of learn your way around the tracks. Really excited to see you guys at Arvindale because that is a crazy bull ring, and I think you're really going to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to see that track. I wish we were going to more tracks, honestly, but I'm just excited to see how the year progresses and see where we can end up by the end of the year. So I appreciate you guys having me as well.
Chris, I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, you know, actually, I have one more question. It's your first time with Morgan Motorsports and you guys working together. How is that gelling so far?
Well, it's like peanut butter and jelly, man. Or I guess what Todd would like to say, it's like a jelly-filled donut is what it really is, because I mean, everybody is so in their spot, and we all just, I mean, we're like one big family. And I've been fortunate to drive for a lot of different programs and a lot of different teams around the country for many different cars. But I got to say, there's been 2 teams that I've driven for that it felt like a family environment. And when you have that feeling, you just perform better. So it's like one big family, honestly. It's not like, you know, you just see the guy at the track and say, hey, what's up? You're talking to these guys every single day. We're really close. So it's a great environment, and I honestly don't think it could have been any better of a team to be a part of.
Perfect. Well, when you're not here, we'll be watching because most of it's on Flow or Mav TV, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you. Thanks, guys, for having me. Yeah.
We honestly take a lot of pride in the fact that all of our Florida racers are family, and we treat everyone like family here. So welcome to the club, buddy.
Thank you, guys. No, it feels like one big family for sure. You know, when I won last year at 417, everybody was congratulating and saying how happy they were that I won. I mean, you know, and I was just like, in the moment, my dad was there, I was emotional. I'm like, man, is this really happening? But I really just felt happy for the team because, you know, they deserve it. So, but yeah, it's awesome to see the family environment down here, and, you know, everybody wants to help everybody. So it's going to be an awesome year. So
awesome. Well, we'll be following along. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys. Yep.
See ya.
And that was Davey Hamilton Jr. coming off of his big win after 417 Southern Speedway. He's got a lot going on this year.
63 races.
Goals. I don't know if a lot of people know that his dad was an IndyCar driver for a while, and that's where he wants to be. So the window is not very big in terms of, you know, his age and making it. He's kind of going to try to have to fast track himself, but that's the goal. So we'll see.
Yeah, and our next guest is on, Jen, I think, when you're ready.
Oh, William Powell. Robert's going to be posting what's left in the hats on the Facebook shop. And if we have any, and if not, we're going to order some more.
Yeah, we still have over 30. Work got tied up today. I'll get them on tomorrow.
Okay. Joe Winchell said, is Robert on the show tonight, or is he just so short we can't see him?
I'm hearing over the phone a little bit, Joe, here. I had to get a step stool.
He's hiding his face and drinking beers.
No, it's too late. I got to go to work early.
I think our next guest is on, Jared Irvin, coming out of another winner for this weekend. Jared, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you all doing?
Good. We don't get to see your face today.
Yeah, I haven't really figured out so I'm just trying to figure out how to turn my face on.
In
There
the
should be
meantime,
a little button at the bottom that says start video on your phone that should turn it on. There you go.
there we go.
Am I good now?
You're good. We're here with Jared Irvin, winner of Citrus this weekend. So let's talk for a minute. Everyone kind of learned about you from your dad, and you guys come and racing here in Florida with us. And you come out like a rocket. You've been doing really well at all the races you've attended. And so kind of talk to us a little bit about what got you started here in Florida.
Well, my parents moved down here a few years ago, and I was still racing some up in North Carolina, and we were running some of the Pass South series, which kind of has dissolved now. There's not really many Pass South races anymore. They still do some Pass North stuff, but I think they only have one race a year in North Carolina. So the super late model racing kind of fell apart in North Carolina. So my parents moved down here to Florida, and it just seemed like the right thing to do to bring the race car down here and start racing down here in Florida, since there's so many tracks within an hour, 2 hours. So it makes sense for us living in Ocala to keep it there, and I moved down here with it. So
That's
I want to
awesome.
talk a little bit about your team, because everybody, I mean, of course, everybody knows who your dad is and the tradition he had in NASCAR and all that. But a lot of people that have that past carry around a large team with you. And usually when you guys go to the track, it's you and your dad and your mom and a little bit of family, and that's about it. And you guys are really turning heads and winning races down here. And a lot of racers down here don't get to go to other parts of the country and show what they got. But would you agree the competition down here in Florida is pretty stout? And I'm amazed at what you guys do with just the few help that you have that go with you. I know I talked to your mom a couple weeks ago, and you were talking about maybe going to Arvindale for that twin 50, but you just didn't have the help to go and do it in the pits. So tell everybody a little bit about how few people make it possible and how much that win Saturday and the other wins you had means doing it with so few people.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much just me and my dad working on the car, and we bring one of my dad's friends along with us, and he hadn't been around the racetrack at all before last year. So it's really just me and him. I'm crew chief in the car, so it means a lot to be able to go out there and then compete against some people that have professional crew chiefs, and they have crew members that are there that know what they're doing. And we're able to go out there, just me and my dad, and be able to be competitive. So that's definitely something that's been impressive to us. When he first brought up the idea of me crew chief in the car myself, I wasn't a huge fan, because I like to win, and I didn't know if I was really able to bring everything to the table to win. But it's been a learning experience, and I think I've learned stuff that works and stuff that doesn't. So it's definitely, I'm going the right direction to be able to take care of it myself and know more about what I'm doing.
And Jen, I'll let you guys get in. I got one last question. What does it mean here in Florida? I've noticed at the track, I meant who your dad is, but it seems like everybody, the fans and the other drivers, they give you guys the respect, and it'd be easy, I guess, for everybody to come up and just want to go to your dad and talk to him because of his past, his NASCAR racing and history. But it seems like everybody down here gives you guys a lot of respect, and they don't really go and bother him a lot when he's trying to help you on the car. Do you notice that the same, and does it help? Do you feel the same respect that they give him the space to be able to help you?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes at the racetrack, we try to keep him busy, so he has a lot of ideas that come out at the racetrack that sometimes we don't have time to actually execute. So sometimes we get people to come up and talk to him, and they keep him busy, and then we're over there working on the race car as much as we can. But yeah, they definitely, when you walk up and you see it's just me and my dad working on the car, it doesn't exactly scream that he has a ton of time to talk. So I appreciate when people do give him the time to help out.
And Chris, let you tell your story a little bit. The first time we saw Jared down at 417 for the Bigley race, I think you texted me and said a picture of Jared's dad standing in line holding the family dog. and some kids were talking to him, and they probably didn't even know who they were talking to.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about Ernie is he's super down to earth. Absolutely does not big time anybody. You know, he's just a normal guy, loves to talk to people. And yeah, those kids probably had no idea who they were talking to, and that's great. That's the way it should be. So I have a question for you. Being the son of a former Cup driver, does it help or hurt? Maybe a little bit of both. I mean, I can see where there would definitely be advantages and disadvantages.
Well, I think when it comes to moving up further and maybe racing like a Canon car or like even a truck, I think the main problem with having him have been a race car driver in the Cup Series is it seems like some of the people assume that he would just have the money to pay for a ride, you know, and it makes it kind of hard to go out and look for sponsors when they know, like, hey, he won the Daytona 500. But I mean, he's been retired since 1999, so it's not like we have this big huge budget to go to the racetrack on, and we kind of just race a once a month kind of deal on the lowest budget we can. And it definitely helps having him be who he is, so he could call people and get information as far as setup stuff and just different parts on the car. Like, I know pretty soon we're going to be getting some PFC brakes put on the car, and that's through someone that he knew. So stuff like that, connections with older friends that he had, that when he was racing, they helped him out. So they feel the need that they need to help me out too, since, you know, I'm his kid.
Right
You're
on.
making me feel old that he retired in 99. I remember watching your dad race when I was growing up. I guess I graduated high school in 96, but man, I didn't realize it's been that long.
Yeah, it has been a while.
I can definitely see where that would be a double-edged sword, because people think because of who you are that you've got this unlimited budget and this, that, and the other. But I think that's what we love most about having drivers on here, is people get a real true feel for the small team, and it kind of shuts up the naysayers somewhat. You know, they're like, oh, well, you know, so-and-so is so-and-so's kid, and we hear it all the time for all of our racers. It doesn't matter who they are, you know? So I like the fact that you took the time to come on with us, because it kind of gives people a name for Jared, not just Ernie's son. And I know that's a big deal to a lot of our racers, is especially when you have a parent in the sport, you're proud of the parent, you're proud of what they've done, but you also want to make your own name for yourself in the sport. So that's really important, to get your name out there and kind of talk about your accomplishments and what you see going forward. And personally, how do you like racing in Florida compared to like North Carolina and all those places?
Well, so far in Florida, everyone at the racetrack's been more friendly. So far, at least. It seems like everyone is there, not because they have this big plan of going to NASCAR next year. Or when we raced in North Carolina, a lot of the teams that were there, I mean, it was satellite teams from truck teams that were at the racetrack running super late models. We had Brad Keselowski racing there. They had Kyle Busch Motorsports. And when you get that kind of crowd there, it kind of breeds really competitive racing, which is good, but not a whole lot of camaraderie in the pits. But it seems like everything that's running down here in Florida, and everyone that comes out to the racetrack, it's still really good competition, but it's more of a family oriented deal for everyone. And they're there because they want to be there, not because they feel like this is their next step. So right. I think racing in Florida is definitely more personable than what we had in North Carolina.
And I love that. And I don't know if you heard the end of Davy's interview when we were talking about that, but we call you guys our transplants, and we adopt y'all, the people that lived up, you know, in different states. We adopt y'all into our race family, just like everybody else. So you have to deal with us a lot, annoying you with Sunshine State Racing stuff. And all the Florida fans, they just love to meet you guys. And yeah, we're really proud of our our racer family, mentality down here.
I was thinking when he was talking about, the name and stuff like that, if you remove the last names, it sounds an awful lot like Colin Almond and what they're doing over there. I mean, it's just
Absolutely.
a son and a dad doing their thing. It's great.
It is great. And I think that's what's so special here in Florida is we see a lot of that. And that's, I don't know, it makes you guys race harder, I think, because you guys are, just a few of you working on the cars, working on the trucks, whatever the case may be. And you go out there and every win means a lot.
So I think I noticed last year towards the end of the year, you guys picked it up a notch, it seemed like, or something clicked or something changed that maybe gave you guys a little more speed, and that's carried over into this year too. Is there something that changed, or you just guys got some momentum going?
Well, about halfway through last year, we had been talking about getting some more shocks for the car, and the other shocks that we had, I mean, they've been on the car for 6 years at least. They've been rebuilt a few times, but I mean, they're kind of outdated, So we got a new set from RE, and they've seemed to help out the car a ton. That alone helped out, and just from the SRL race we had at Citrus to this race, we found a few things that were wrong on the car, and we actually had a spindle breaking at the SRL race that we didn't even catch until we got back. It was probably Tuesday before the race at Citrus, this last one, and we caught it. And so we got a new spindle put on it, got the bump steer set and everything, and that helped a ton. But I think from here on, it'll just be kind of smaller adjustments and not really having to fix anything major, I hope. Because it seems like before we got those new shocks put on, it was always we're swinging at the car big time, trying to make it adjust, and it didn't seem to react to anything. But since we got the new shocks, and especially since we got this new spindle put on, it seems like the car reacts to adjustments, which is a huge difference. And we're able to make kind of small changes to the car, and they make a big difference. And that helps a lot when I'm trying to do it myself. And small adjustments are something that I'm getting pretty good at. So whenever I can make small adjustments like that, and it makes a big difference, like we went out qualified this past weekend, and I think we went up third, but the car felt not very good in qualifying. And I made a couple small adjustments right before we went out for the race, and it made a huge difference. I mean, we only ran like a 75 in qualifying or a 72, and then we ran a 75 in the race. So definitely it's good that our car actually reacts to stuff now. And I think that we can carry that on to not just success at Citrus, but hopefully success at other tracks too.
And
So that's got to help in the confidence department too, though. Then when you know you can make adjustments and feel it, you got to gain confidence as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was a while there where it seemed like I could throw everything in the kitchen sink at the car and nothing would change. Like the SRL race that we had down at Citrus, I think I threw every spring in the trailer at the car trying to make a turn, and it did not turn, not once. So that was definitely frustrating, but definitely a good rebound here this past weekend.
Absolutely. So what's your plans for the rest of the season? Are we going to see you traveling out a little bit more to some of our other Florida tracks?
I know we're planning on running all the races at Citrus, maybe trying to go for another track championship if we can keep up what we did so far. I think we are definitely planning on going down to 417 for the Bill Bigley, and then probably another race before that as well, just to familiarize ourselves with the track a little bit more. And I knew we had talked a little bit about going down to Auburndale, because I know they've been running some races down there. any 10,000 win races that are here in Florida, we'll probably be there. So.
Deal. And let's take a minute and talk about your sponsors. Anyone you want to thank that helps you guys get to the track every weekend? I know it's you and your family, but.
Well, we got West Virginia Pool Construction. They're a huge sponsor for us this year. And then we also have CitraSafe, which they've been on our car for, I want to say 5 years now, at least. They've been just every year they come back with a little bit, and that helps.
Oh, I think we lost them.
I think we lost him. If he joins, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, I'm
We lost
back.
You were talking about West Virginia Pool.
CitraSafe.
Okay. Yeah, we got West Virginia Pools, and we got CitraSafe, and just my family, most of all. They're with me at the racetrack every time I go there, and my dad's a huge help. It's basically in the shop, it's just me and him working on the car, so it's it definitely helps having someone else, not just me, you know. And my girlfriend comes to the racetrack every time we are there, and she's a huge help too. My sister has been spotting for me for the last 5 or 6 races, so that's been interesting. But she's been doing a pretty good job. She's also my tire temperature person as well. So yeah, it's just a family operation, that's for sure.
And just for our fans listening, I know you have your fan page. How can everybody follow you on any of your social media, or they want to know where Jared Irvin is going to be racing to follow you around Florida? How can they keep up with you?
So the Facebook, if you're on Facebook, it would be Jared Irvin Fan Club. And we have our good friend Rachel. She posts on there all the time. She keeps it super updated and updates it throughout the day at the racetrack. So that's always up to date. I have gotten a little lax on my personal social media stuff, but anything that's mine would be under Jared Irvin. So it still should be easy to find.
Awesome. Well, we really look forward to getting to know you a little bit more while you're here in Florida racing with us. Glad to have you guys as part of our race family here, and look forward to seeing lots of big wins coming for you.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on the show, and hopefully I'll give you all another reason to have me on again.
Absolutely, buddy. Good job this weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. And that was Jared Irvin rounding out our list of awesome guests tonight. That was a really good show.
Yeah, I think so too.
We got any comments to catch up on or anything, Jen?
Yeah, Joe Winter told you to jump up higher.
Joe obviously hasn't seen me. I don't jump very high.
I think that's it. Do you see any other ones, Chris? Because my phone's been crazy.
No, there haven't been a lot of comments tonight.
Everyone's tired like we are. All right, that's
Do
it.
we have hats left?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see everybody on the track this weekend, and thanks everybody for tuning in.
Chris had a question.
Oh.
Chris said, do we have hats left?
Yeah, I still have about 30 of them.
Okay, and we have shirts left?
Shirts, hoodies, and hats left. Shirts and hoodies are on the site. I'll try to get the hats up tomorrow. I'll have them with me at 417 this weekend. And if Jen goes anywhere else, I'll try to get her some of each.
Listen, I'm going to meet up with Robert halfway and get some shirts and hats. So I'll have some if I go anywhere else this weekend. So yeah, we'll plan on meeting up and getting those out so we can have them at multiple places. I still have some hoodies for sale. I'll have to look at the sizes, but yeah, if you guys aren't going to be in person, make sure to go to our Facebook page, go to the shop and order it, and we'll have it shipped out within a couple days.
And if you can't figure out how to use the shop, message us and I'll figure out a way to get the payment, and we'll get it shipped out to you. That's the easiest way I knew how to do it without creating a different website and making it even harder. But we'll have them at the track, and we'll try to get them as many locations as possible.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. You got anything else, Chris?
Nope. It's time for bed.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week. We'll be back on live sometime this week, just catching up with you guys. See
See
you.
you,
Bye.
everybody.